Hello everyone, we've gotten a couple more character announcements for Tekken 8, so welcome to our Raven primer. We will be returning to the original Raven for Tekken 8 with some fancy new ninja clone tech, but you can rest assured he'll still share a lot with Master Raven. So expect good space control and keep out, good damage, and a bunch of crazy ninja stuff. As with our other primers, this video should give you a good quick rundown on the character to jumpstart your learning and get you playing some matches. We will keep the technical lingo to a minimum, but you should still have some knowledge on basic standardized Tekken terms, especially notations and terms for various game mechanics. In other words, this guide is meant for beginners, but you should already know a little bit about the game, just not necessarily the character. If you are brand new to Tekken, check out the resource links in the video description below. I've included several, including a system basics guide that operates as a tutorial for the whole game, since Tekken doesn't really have that built in. To me, I think it's incredibly important to go over that before trying to tackle character specific guides. But enough of all that, let's begin. The first thing to note about Raven is that you're probably going to be playing in an orthodox, mostly keep out kind of game. She does have some normal stuff like her jabs and down forward 1, but she lacks things like a toe kick from standing or a hop kick or a generic down forward 2. In fact, she can't launch at 15 frames without her rage drive. Instead, you're going to lean on her crouch dash or CD and her back turn stuff. She has a lot more flexibility with how she does her CD than most CD characters, since she has both the normal QCF motion as well as the fake crouch dash motion, which is down, down, forward, which will put her in full crouch. But she can add an extra dash animation from full crouch by doing either full crouch, down, forward, down, down, forward, or full crouch, down, forward, down, down, forward, forward. And since she has the fake CD from standing, you can do a double CD by doing down, down, forward, QCF. This gives you a lot more potential with the movement than most simple CD characters, so with that, your main low threats are CD2 and full crouch, down, forward, 3+4. CD2 will give you a juggle, whereas full crouch, down, forward, 3+4 operates more like a hell sweep, but is much faster than CD2. Although full crouch, down, forward, 3+4 can still launch on counter hit. Your only other low options are either the toe kick or full crouch 3, a long range poke, but both of those are -15 on block, so still considerable risk. Full crouch 3 is actually more common from range, since doing down, down, forward full crouch 3 goes really far and spacing can make it a bit safer. For mids, CD2 slide 1, which is the same move as down forward 1+2, is a direct cancel of CD2 into an unsafe mid wall bouncer. You can also cancel CD2 into back turn by holding back, and since back turn has more lows, you can actually use this not only to throw off your opponent's timing, but to also give you access to more lows. Otherwise, while standing 4 is of course your quick safe poke, while standing 2 is your safe counter hit launcher, only slightly slower than while standing 4, while standing 1 is an unsafe mid launcher, but very quick, so you'll see this often. CD1 is a fairly quick safe mid with a confirmable follow-up, or you can go to Haze for some trickiness and will give you a launch on counter hit. If you're having lots of trouble catching steppers, CD3+4 is an option. It's unsafe, but it's a homing splatter that can knock down on hit for either a free grounded poke or some really scary Oki if they try to stand. Then there's also CD1+2, a safe knockdown splatting mid. It's slow, but almost the same speed as CD2, so the timing pairs well there. And it's a move that has an auto parry on startup. Lastly, CD4 is another mid option, but instead of being a part of your raw CD pressure, you'll often use this as keep out or against players trying to check you with highs, particularly at range 2. So you'll often see Mavens feint with empty CDs at range 3 or 4, and then if they see a whiff, press 4 to get your launch. But against characters that don't have something like a quick long range shoulder, you can often get away with spamming this at range. It's one of her primary ways of controlling space, which is the important takeaway for her CD. It allows you both to control space while also giving you a way in. For back turn, you have a bunch of transitions, including a manual one, but you'll see the quick ones most often. So things like 4-1, back 2-2, and down back 2. But go through the move list and just note the ones that you like. Now, since you expose your back, you don't want to just randomly do this in the neutral like you would a normal stance. Rather, focus on your fast and evasive options if you think they're going to challenge you. Otherwise, pick a mix-up option and roll with it. For mix-ups, normally you'll do either down 4 for a quick poke or forward 4-3 for a chunky combo. You can try doing down 3 or forward 3+4, both of which can launch, but they're very slow, so they're normally better for catching people mashing jabs or something similar. She also has a legit 50-50 grab mix-up in back turn, which is really good. For mids, you got a bunch, the common ones being back 2 and forward 3 since they're the fastest and safest and can still yield significant reward on counter hit. But you have a bunch of others you can mess with too, like forward 2, forward 3+4, and forward 3. Those slower options though are often best for evasion. For instance, forward 3 high crushes and forward 3+4 low crushes. Then you have the infamous back turn 1+2 power crush, although it no longer knocks down or splats, which is unfortunate. You also have a parry in back turn. Regardless, the goal for back turn should be to get in and get out. Don't give them time to try to figure it out. Even doing a quick jab can be super dangerous. You'll see back turn 2 a lot because if that hits counter hit, back turn 1-4 is guaranteed for big damage. Force them to make that quick defensive decision. With Maven, your offense kind of is your defense, but first she does have some standard punishing tools. 2-4 is a strong jab punisher, slightly slower are both 4-1 and down back 2-1. Then you have 1+2 or back 4-4, and then you can start launching with down forward 2. Although again, note that it's not as fast as a typical down forward 2. Crouch punishes are pretty straightforward since we already mentioned them all. While standing 4 is your quick punish, then while standing 2, then while standing 1 for your launcher. Beyond that, a lot of your offensive tools have built-in evasion that you can use. Both down 4 and down back 4 are good against highs. Down forward 3 is an extremely dangerous counter hit launcher that's safe on block. You'll see setups for that a lot. Same with 4-1, which is essentially a magic 4-string for her. Back 1 is another quick high that's good for counter hits and even doubles as a pressure tool on block. 1-1-4 is another you'll see now and then. It's a safe high mid that if it lands counter hit, the last hit will combo, particularly scary at the wall. Up forward 3 and upward 4 are very good for low crushing. If your opponent isn't careful at range, you of course have CD4, but you also have forward 2, forward 3, and running 3. CD4 and forward 3 are also essential for whiff punishing since they're relatively quick and give full combos on normal hit. For the same reason, always have forward 2-3 ready as well for those situations where there just isn't time for CD4 or forward 3. You can even get silly and do her haze stance. It's largely gimmicky, but she does get low when it starts up and it has evasive moves in it. We're not going to do a deep dive, but just know it's something that you should play around with. And she has a parry. Still, your goal is to chill at range and try to catch people not watching their spacing, but don't feel afraid to dig deep into the move list and do some crazy jumpy ninja stuff to catch people off guard. Not to be too light on fundamental stuff, a quick honorable mention to some basic tools. Down 3 is a nice quick low poke, 1+2 and forward 2 are great, safe, powerful knockdown mids. 1+2 actually has that automatic counterattack if someone hits you right as it starts up, which back 2 has this same thing, by the way. Forward 4 is another great mid, not super risky and can actually be safe at times if spaced well. 3-3 is a great safe mid poke string. It is mid high, but it jails so they can't duck it if they block the first hit. Again, her down forward 1 is very strong. Down back 2-1 is a strong poke string as well. Just beware that one you can duck. But back 3 is a nice close range pressure tool as well as running 3, which we mentioned before. So there are tools there for what you might call a normal play style. She just normally doesn't use them as much as most characters might. Similarly, don't forget her grabs. We mentioned the back turn grabs, but she has a 1+2 break and a 1 break from front facing, and the 1 break option is faster than normal and can be done from her crouch dash. Then, as usual, we'll skip combos, but check out the video description below for a link to some samples. So lastly, her rage drive, which is a better version of her forward 3, although since it's only a single directional input, you can use it as a true 15 frame launcher. So it's always going to be a threat at range, but once you start getting to the point that you can recognize moves that are -15 on block, remember that this gives you an option to get a full launch in that situation. Either way, very strong move. This brings us to the end of the primer. I'm hoping this information was succinct and helpful for getting a jump on the character, but feedback is always welcome. Be mindful that in-depth discussion for game plans and move attributes will be saved for intermediate guides, although since we have the more robust basics guides already for Tekken 7, true intermediate guides will be something to look out for with Tekken 8. Lastly, big thanks to our patrons. You guys are the best and that support means more than you know. But to everyone, stay safe and we'll see you next time.